it was like, hey, it was great to meet you. And so funny how life comes full circle all these years later.
You know, where to even like go with like, do I want my brand to be sleek? Do I want it to be playful? Do I, like, what is it that I'm really looking for? Thanks everybody for joining today's podcast. Today I'm here with
Nicole Stackowitz.
All right, and tell us about yourself.
My name, like I said, my name is Nicole, and I work for College Hill, and I've been in the promotional product industry for 11 years.
Okay.
I work for a distributor, and we can do all the custom merch and help you elevate your brand in any way, through whether it's apparel or hard goods. But I love networking. I love business development. I love all the things, which goes from my industry to every industry.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where'd you come from? Where'd you start?
Yeah, no, good question. I've always been a hustler or a hunter, I guess, in this whole sales game. I worked retail along with working for, now my third adult career job. And I worked for a company for 15 years, and I started by being an off-the-phone rep and being able to just, I was in a call center and I was off the phone. It's one of those jobs that everybody wanted by not having to talk to people on the phone. But then I just wanted to move around and learn more. And again, like I said, I was working retail, and I didn't want to have to work multiple jobs. I wanted to be able to just keep pushing myself to make more money. And that's where I kind of really got dug more into the sales. I went to account management, and I knocked that out of the park. Then I went to retention. I was the best rep in that team. And then I was like, okay, I need a new challenge. And then I moved over to, I started an outbound line for collect our supplies for our largest equipment. Did that really well. Then they got rid of 60 of us in one day. And many of us have been there in that situation. So then I didn't have to work because I had 15 years in at the time. I didn't have to work right away. So I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. I got the opportunity in the promotional product industry as an account manager, which I've done before. So that was an easy in. And so then after about 2 years of being an account manager and just really understanding the process that, the behind the scenes for distributors in the promotional product industry, I was approached to do our business development, and because I had B2B experience. And I was told, well, if you don't like it, you can go back to what you were doing. And over 8 years later, business development, I loved it, and I obviously never went back. And now I work for a distributor, like I said. And so taking that big industry knowledge that I gained at a top 20 distributor to a smaller distributor where it can make an impact. There's so much opportunity on all sides, whether it's growing the business or, growing my team and staff and other members of our team. But essentially, business development is everything.
Absolutely. What would you say motivates you to keep going?
People with passion are my favorite.
Yeah.
And I always said, I actually just wrote a LinkedIn post about that the other day. I volunteer for everything. I just love to be out there. You never know whose, life you can impact just by saying hello. There's so many people who are scared to put themselves out there for the unknown, where they don't know what the opportunity is, or it's not what you know, it's who you know, in my industry and every industry.
Connections will monetize forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when looking for team members in your past, what do you go and recruit for?
Well, as I just read a book the other day, you want to hire a culture add, not a culture fit, because you want to, keep building, your team. But I truly just love people who are just passionate, who want to get off the ground running and just dig in, whether it's a client services team member or if it's somebody that's on my sales team or business development team. You want somebody who's just not afraid to just try. And when you feel like giving up in sales, make one more phone call because it will pay off every time. And persistence always works. Always.
Consistency is so important.
Absolutely.
Can you say that first thing you said one more time about, a culture?
Hire for a culture add, not a culture fit.
Okay. Can you go a little bit more in depth with what that means for some of the people who might be watching and that kind of caught their ear.
Yeah, you want to just like add, always want to add more. You never want to limit yourself with the potential of people that you could bring in the door.
Right.
If they are a great, yes, we might look at our core values and they might be a great grad fit, but personality, like there's hungriness of going after it, no matter what level, what position you're in, what you put into it, like you can't teach a lot of that ever. And so if you find somebody who just has it, you just know that they're going to help your team shine in every way and get them to, either want to learn more. Maybe they're in a role where they're content and they do really well, but somebody else could inspire them to even take it to another level. And that's what I want on my team.
So you would consider yourself a grower, somebody who is growing their team, but also being able to kind of acknowledge on their strengths and what they can add to the team, while also developing them as a person or as a leader or even as an employee.
Absolutely, and even giving them the type of customers to work with that are in their niche and where they shine.
Yep.
Because again, the passion just will pull out naturally, and they'll just be a rock star and grow the account without even trying.
Right. That's a very good point. And I think it's really cool too that being able to realize that everybody has a different personality.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some personalities that do not mix.
This is true.
and it doesn't mean anybody's worse than the other person.
Right.
But there are people, like, not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to like you. It's just, it's a certain personality, that people kind of shift back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I think some of it goes to like you might be intimidated by someone, but it's because you don't know usually. And so if you're able to dig in, just more into like who they are as a person, or maybe some challenges that they've had in the past, and understand why they are the way they are, that right there will break down burdens or break down walls. But then, just take your relationship to another level where you can learn from each other.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Alex Hormozy?
I have not.
So him and his wife Layla own acquisition.com. Basically, they're a company that acquires other companies, and they help them grow. Obviously, end goal is to sell them and be able to make a profit on them. But Layla, his wife, says that fear is a mile wide but an inch deep.
Interesting.
And so there's so many things you can be fearful of.
Mm-hmm.
When you take that step, you're like, it's not that deep.
That's so true. And that's also why I volunteer for a lot of things in our industry. I serve on 2 boards. I'm now a president of one of them, is to understand the behind the scenes and the why. Because if you have that, then everything makes sense. And there's so many, people who don't put themselves out there. And I've made a name for myself in my industry, and I'm very thankful that I have and keep pushing myself out there to do so. But I just encourage anybody who you're unsure about what you're doing every day, find a mentor. There's mentor programs in every industry. You can learn from each other. Follow people on LinkedIn is a big, valuable tool. I know back in the day, it was one of those things where you just try to find a job on there, and it's definitely evolved over the years. Be yourself. Like, that's the best thing you can do. I do the stupidest videos sometimes, even for email marketing, but it's just me being goofy, but you're going to get everybody's attention. And if you go to your customer differently, whether it's, email marketing or, just having great conversation, picking up the phone, not doing everything through email, you'll build relationships and they'll never forget you.
Yeah, I think it always goes back to like connections will monetize forever. It doesn't always need to be about the money.
Right.
And focus on the people relationships, and everything else will kind of provide.
That's absolutely truth.
And so like you can go out and say I'm selling this product, or you can go out and say, hey, I want to have coffee with you.
Yes.
Hey, let's get to know each other on a personal level.
Yes.
Figure out more about what makes that person tick, why they're doing what they're doing.
Understand their brand and what their mission is and what they...
Yeah,
because you might think and have ideas of where you think their brand should go, but if you don't understand it, it's going to be a major miss, and they're going to go with your competitor.
Right. And I think knowing knowing that just because you have an idea of what their brand is doesn't mean it's that exact thing.
Correct.
And it takes time. It takes time to understand. You know, when I first started, I had no clue, you know, where to even like go with like, do I want my brand to be sleek? Do I want it to be playful? Do it, you know, like, what is it that I'm really looking for? And I think it takes time to figure that out. But once you figure that out, it's, you know, it's just laying the foundations. You know, you got little pieces. It's like a puzzle, and you put together the little pieces. And once all the pieces are together, you have an absolutely beautiful picture. And so details.
Yes.
I just hired a new sales manager.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. And he came in here and he's like, Kyle, I noticed this, and this. He said, I'm not saying that as a dig at you. And I mean, I didn't take it that way either. It's objectively, is this right or is this wrong? So looking at those small details, you know,
and the opportunity that fresh eyes bring in, that's what you want.
Absolutely.
You know, because obviously if you're missing it, somebody else can get that. It just elevates your company as a whole.
And I think like it's really cool too, like especially in the promotional products industry, is, you know, you're able to fix those small details.
Absolutely.
And like even as something as simple, like, and it's something I'm actually working on, is like I'm gonna get like I'm gonna get water bottles from Kroger. I'm gonna take off like the wrapper and have like a James Marketing Company wrapper.
Okay. Yeah.
Just the small details.
That's correct.
And like, even though that's a little bit of an added expense, it's the details that matter.
Yes.
You know, meeting with clients, handing them, whether it's a candy cup, just full of candy, and it says like, thank you for meeting with me. You know, handing them a mug when they first sign on as a client, whatever. I mean, it can be many different things, but not doing it in a way of like, you know, hey, I'm trying to, you know, make all this money.
No.
In a way of, I care about you, and these are the perks being able to work with a company that genuinely cares.
Absolutely.
And you're able to make those connections. I think that's important.
Yeah, definitely. But that's just your core value, right? It's your company and showing your brand, no matter what it is that you're giving them, but also just the thank you of that. But again, it's just those little things where it makes so people don't forget you.
Right. And I think so many people forget about those details. You know, I'm not going to call out this company in the area, but I had them service something for me, and the guy left mid shift. Like his boss called him and he's like, something wasn't signed correctly, and it was a total fault of their company, and you know, because those details, because those processes weren't in place, they've now lost a future customer.
Well, and the bad taste in your mouth, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, you know, focus on the customer experience first and work your way back.
Yeah.
That's something that Steve Jobs said a lot. Customer experience, how does this impact the customer? For me, you know, I had my employees take a vacation day. That's a good amount of money that I spend for them to do something service related in the office. Yeah. So now having to pay another vacation day or have them not work, you know, that costs me money. It costs me time that we've now lost to be able to have that competitive advantage. So focusing on customer experience first.
Yes. We always say that we're providing an exceptional experience.
Yeah. Processes. Yeah. Processes are everything. And, you know, I used to work in retail, and I've talked about this a few times, but customer experience is everything. And so we had these things called our promise shops. It's our promise to our customers to provide clean service, fresh service, and friendly service. And so every single one of my cashiers was always trained. What are the 4 most important things? Hello, thank you, appropriate uniform. And I think the third one was just like a friendly attitude or something like that. Oh, no, it was smile.
Oh, okay.
So, hello, smile, thank you. And you got to have an appropriate uniform and have your name tag on. And so I always talk to them about how having that trigger to say, hello with a smile, and then, being able to say thank you as they're handing the receipt. So, like, what trains people to do those things?
Mm-hmm.
You're not treating them like robots, but you do have those processes in place. So every single time somebody sees somebody, on the register, I have a little sticker that says hello. So it's just like a quick little thing. When on top of the receipt printer, it says thank you. And handing the receipt, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
On the top of the screen, I had little smiley faces to make them, smile at somebody. And so, like, those processes in place, it makes it almost fail-proof.
It does.
When you have those processes in place, when somebody walks in the office, can I get you a water? Can I get you something? So having those processes in place, following the processes, and that's something I learned from my direct supervisor in the retail world.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely, and I think even how I do like business development, when I do cold calls, they work for me. I can get past any gatekeeper. There's sometimes I don't even mention where I'm calling from for the first 5 minutes. Because you just dig in, like, you start getting them to talk about them or their business, man, if you can get that to happen, they won't stop. Mm-hmm. And so then you can dig into exactly, what their needs are, what their challenges might be. But it all goes back to my retail days. I've had so many bosses ask, want to clone me. Like, how do you do that? Mm-hmm. And it all goes back to my retail days, and I talk to people like they just walked in my store. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing that I can come up with is like, hey, how are you? Right. Or if you call and like, hey, is Joe in? Like, you just sound like you're a friend or somebody that knows them, but it's all in your tone and how you just like present yourself to get it to work to your advantage. Yeah.
I mean, and it's just specifically like talking to somebody or physically showing up somewhere. What am I wearing? Mm-hmm. What does my hair look like? Mm-hmm. What do I smell like? Right? It can be literally anything. But like, if I walk into a client meeting and I'm wearing sweats and a sweatshirt, how are they going to perceive me? They're going to perceive me unprepared, even though I might be the most prepared and have, that first impression is everything.
Yes.
And being able to have a conversation with eye contact. Yeah. Walking around, talking to people at like Chamber of Commerce events, and if I walked up to you and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I really hope you're doing well. Do you wanna buy something from me? And be like, who? What are you looking at? The birds? Like,
are you nervous or no?
So like having it's basic human skills. Yeah. And then looking at the why. Mm-hmm. One of my old college professors, which she's actually probably watching this, she met with me a few days ago because I wanted to show her kind of what was all going on, and she said, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this, it's E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. Okay. So that event is always stationary. There's always going to be some kind of event. Mm-hmm. How you respond to it determines the outcome. Definitely. And so it sounds really simple, but people don't think about that. Yeah. They just think like, I'm going to make a decision, and it's got to be this decision. Mm-hmm. But take a second, think about it. I should be able to walk in the room and have a conversation with somebody and them not be able to tell if I'm upset about something, or if I had a really bad day or whatever like that. From a business sense, having that emotional maturity to be able to think clearly with a clear head, and if you can't, then find a way to reschedule that meeting. Find a way to it's all about professionalism now. Especially nowadays, there's it's somewhat okay to have somewhat of like I don't want to say like a, not necessarily unprofessional, but more of like a personal twist on things.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Because people crave authenticity.
Yes.
But I've also noticed, going into different. There was this one Chamber of Commerce event I went to, and people were cussing.
Oh.
To me, and I'm part of like a younger generation. The people like my age are going around cussing. I don't find that as something I want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't scream, oh, that's really professional to me.
Yeah. Right.
It screams, I don't want to be any part of that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, for sure. No, good points for sure. And I was just thinking too, like going back to your, figuring out the outcome. Even if your company is presenting at a trade show and you have a table, there's so many people that don't do anything with those leads that you're capturing. You're getting business cards and stuff like that and people want to connect with you, but there's so many people that don't, and they drop the ball from the opportunity because you want to create the ROI from any situation. Mm-hmm. So I just want to, if you're getting leads and you're out at any sort of event or making sure you're connecting right away on LinkedIn with somebody, send them a message. It was great to meet you. Funny that my current employer I met in 2018 at an industry event, sent a message to. It was like, hey, it was great to meet you. And so funny how life comes full circle all these years later. And when I first started interviewing, I actually went to send him a note on LinkedIn as a thank you. And come to find out I was already connected and already had, met him years ago, and I didn't realize that. But it's all about building the relationships and just coming full circle in everything. So just stay consistent in everything that you're doing, and it will always be positive.
Consistency is key.
Absolutely.
And it really, you have to find something that you absolutely love to do.
This is true.
You have to be willing to suffer a little bit in doing something you love. Mm-hmm. And that determines the amount that you'll be able, it determines the amount of the success that you'll be able to get from that, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
I think it's really important to look at that when deciding what you want to do, because success only comes from years and years and years of hard work. And anybody who you think had overnight success, it came from years and years and years of practice.
It's the truth. That's how you get great at everything and make a name for yourself and get yourself known or get yourself noticed. Mm-hmm. But yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So, awesome. Well, one last question for you.
Yes.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Just to be known for the silly tattooed individual that I am, that break barriers, put up, stand out for yourself, just keep putting yourself out there. I just want people to realize that they can do hard things. And I never thought 10 years ago that I would be in public speaking and speak on a couple panels by now and be a president of a board and on another board and part of other committees. And I never thought that I would do those things, but I love those things. And I just, want to do more and more. Now it's like if I go to and I'm listening to a keynote speaker or a panel, like I just want to go grab the mic and jump in. I was just at an event in Texas a couple weeks ago, and that was just something I'm like, oh, I could have did that. Like, right. Been on that panel. But, don't sell yourself short. Just keep pushing yourself to be the best person that you can be. And if you don't know how to get there, connect with people. Connect with me. I'll help you. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm always doing videos and things like that on there that most people don't do. But those are the things that I love. And just bring yourself different to the market compared to what your other peers might be doing. And it'll work for you every time. I promise.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, which is just Nicole Stackowitz. Otherwise, you can email me at nicole@collegehill.com, and I'm happy to help. Even if I can connect you with somebody else that I know here in the area. I'm from the Fox Cities my whole life. But I would love to help any way that I can.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys, for watching today's episode. The camera switched. So if you guys can make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.